Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're stepping into the shadows of Gotham. We've got this really chilling case file called Mad Love by Slade Harrison.
Right. And this isn't your typical superhero story.
No, definitely not. We're going deep into the transformation, the psychological unraveling of Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Harrison's narrative, even though it's fictional, it gives us this, powerful way to look at a mind under incredible stress and, manipulation.
So our mission today is to track those key moments, the shifts in her thinking, the subtle things, and the not-so-subtle things that lead to Harley Quinn.
Exactly. How does Harleen become Harley? That's the core question here.
Okay, let's jump right in. The prologue starts us off deep in Arkham Asylum, like sub-basement deep.
Mm-hmm. And right away, we see Dr. Quinzel breaking the rules. She wants to talk to the Joker face-to-face, off the books.
That's a huge red flag immediately, isn't it? Going off protocol like that.
It is. It shows this isn't about standard therapy anymore. It's personal. She needs answers that, the official files just aren't giving her.
That emotional investment, that need, that's the vulnerability, isn't it?
That's the crack he's going to exploit. Absolutely.
Then chapter 1. Harleen arrives at Arkham officially.
Yeah.
And the context is just horrific. Her fiancé murdered at their wedding.
A truly terrible event. But what's striking, like you said, is her focus. It's not on grieving in a typical way.
No, she's drawn to the Joker, the man who caused it all, seeking what? Understanding.
It's a very unusual response. Trauma hits people differently, of course, but heading straight towards the source of the horror, that's different.
The text says, the brighter, more open, Harleen died with Guy.
Exactly. So her return to Arkham, it's not really about healing. It's more like she's confronting this huge void inside her, but doing it in the most dangerous way possible.
So their first meeting, cell block C, there's all the setup, the glass, the recorders.
The physical barriers?
Yeah, but psychologically, he cuts right through.
That first line, you came back. Chilling.
Right. And then calling her clinical, cold. He's reading her, or trying to, instantly. It's like he flips the power dynamic straight away. He's the prisoner, but he's in control.
Definitely. He's testing her facade, seeing if he can crack that professional detachment, looking for an emotional reaction.
And the conversation itself. Harleen asks directly about the wedding, about why.
And his answers are just, wow, because you were beautiful?
Followed by, I liberated you. Liberated her. How twisted is that?
It's pure manipulation. Classic gaslighting, really. He's trying to rewrite her reality, make her doubt everything, suggesting her trauma was somehow good for her.
Invalidating her entire life before him.
Precisely. Like her happiness wasn't real, and then he did her a favor by destroying it.
And that line about the hollow space behind your eyes, what do you make of that?
It's so loaded. He's suggesting he saw something broken in her before any of this, a pre-existing vulnerability.
So it wasn't all him. It was partly her.
That's what he wants her, and maybe himself, to believe. It shifts blame, plants doubt, makes her think maybe she wasn't okay before him, that he just brought it out.
The session ends, and his parting shot. You're not like them, doctor. That's why I picked you.
Oof. That's the hook, making her feel special, unique.
But special in his twisted world.
Exactly. He's isolating her, creating this false sense of a unique bond, implying he sees something no one else does, which pulls her further away from her colleagues, from reality.
Okay, so that first meeting clearly shakes her. Chapter 2 shows the fallout, right? The isolation.
Yeah, the aftermath is bleak. You get the scene at the church, the media frenzy, Gotham's bloody wedding, and Harleen just shuts down.
Complete withdrawal. The text paints this picture. Curtains drawn, mail piling up, the apartment neglected.
And she keeps Guy's sweatshirt, but the engagement ring, it's in a dish, like a specimen, like she's studying her own grief from a distance.
That detachment is really telling.
It is. And then the voicemails pile up, too.
From Pamela, right, her friend.
Yeah.
And her dad.
Yeah. Pamela's worried, asking her to reach out. Her father's pleading for her to come home. Basic human connection being offered.
And Harleen ignores them. Just nothing.
It really shows the emotional paralysis setting in. Frozen. Unable to connect.
Which, of course, leaves her more vulnerable to the one connection she seems to be exploring.
Exactly. Her support network is trying, but she's cut herself off. Isolation is key to his manipulation. No reality checks.
Then that scene in the bathroom, the mirror, her reflection seems alien to her.
Right. She doesn't recognize herself. There's anti-anxiety medication there, but she doesn't take it.
And the hallucination.
Yeah.
The Joker's grin in the mirror.
Terrifying. It shows he's not just an external problem anymore. He's inside her head. His image is literally imprinted on her subconscious.
And it's linked to her feeling like she looks different, like he's responsible for this change.
It's a really disturbing sign of that twisted connection forming.
And then comes that thought, that really pivotal, chilling thought. He chose me.
Yeah, that's the switch flipping.
From victim to something else. Chosen.
It's a perverse way to find meaning, maybe. In the middle of all this horror and loss, being chosen, even for this, gives her a weird sense of significance, fills that void.
It's a dangerous thought, though. It starts to reframe everything from his perspective.
It's incredibly dangerous. It's the moment she really starts buying into his narrative, detaching from what actually happened.
Which leads her straight back to Arkham. She ignores people's reactions, goes to her office.
And does something really symbolic. She tears up the cover of the Joker's file.
Rejecting the professional distance.
Right. And then she replays the interview audio, specifically his line about wanting to let go.
She's actively leaning into the darkness now. Exploring the abyss he represents.
It seems like she's finding some kind of, I don't know, dark fascination, maybe even comfort in his nihilism.
Okay, chapter 3. Things escalate. Violently, the Joker escapes.
Yeah, and the escape itself hinges on manipulation again. Officer Bob Grayson, young guy.
He had a rapport with the Joker. Seriously.
Apparently. Which just highlights how good the Joker is at spotting weakness. He likely played on Bob's naivete, maybe disillusionment. Built a false trust.
A trust that gets Bob killed. Sharpened toothbrush. Brutal.
It's quick, visceral. A reminder that beneath the manipulation there's raw violence. He used conversation to disarm him, then struck. Zero empathy.
And while this is happening, or soon after, there's another attempt at a wedding.
Yeah, they moved it to a secure venue. Trying again. Harleen's father is there, Pamela's there, trying to reclaim some normalcy, maybe.
But the Joker crashes it. Of course he does. The sheer audacity.
It's pure psychological warfare, shattering any illusion of safety, showing her she can't escape him. It's theater, but deadly serious.
And that line at the altar, "Do you, Harleen Quinzel, take this man to be your lawful prey?"
It's just a complete desecration, twisting the vows, turning love into predation.
Forcing her into this awful passive role in his sick game.
Exactly, making her complicit just by being there, hearing it, eroding her agency even further.
Then chaos. Flashbang, gunfire. Guy dies. Again. For real this time.
Horrific, just absolute terror. And as the Joker's being dragged away by the GCPD...
He calls her his little Harlequin.
And says, "Welcome to the madhouse." He's claiming her, marking her.
It's like a perverse christening into his world. And that name, Harlequin.
The first explicit hint of the persona she's going to become. He's not just escaping physically, he's sealing her psychological capture.
Chapter 4. She's back in isolation. Deeper this time.
Yeah, back in the apartment. The narrative mentions the lingering scent of lilies, a constant reminder of the trauma.
Sensory triggers. And she's avoiding voicemails again. 13 new ones this time.
Still shutting out the world, rejecting any help, relying only on her own thoughts, which are getting more and more fractured.
The bathroom scenes intensify too. More paranoia, more hallucinations.
Definitely. The Joker's becoming this constant presence in her mind. The line between what's real and what's in her head is blurring badly.
Pamela's messages get more urgent, right? She's really trying to warn Harleen.
Desperately. She leaves messages about finding Joker cards at Guy's grave, tells Harleen she's being watched.
She says he baited her, that he's rewiring everything.
Pamela sees it clearly. She's the voice of reason, trying to pull Harleen back from the edge. But Harleen's too far gone now.
So far gone that she goes back to Arkham again. Before dawn this time.
It's like a compulsion. She's drawn back. And she's holding on to this idea that the system failed, that he chose her for a reason.
And she replays his message, the one telling her to come back, to wear red.
And she does, doesn't she? It's a small act of compliance, but it shows how much she's internalizing his control, aligning with him.
And she tells herself, "I'm not like them," distancing herself from everyone else.
Yeah, rejecting the normal world, her colleagues. It creates this dangerous us versus them thing in her head, with us being just her and the Joker.
Yeah.
Makes her even more dependent on him.
Which brings us to chapter 5, the second interview. Security is way tighter now.
They know he's dangerous physically, but they still seem to underestimate his psychological power.
Because even restrained, he gets to her. Comments on her appearance, the missing ring.
Little digs, calculated remarks designed to hit her vulnerabilities. He even brings up nightmares.
And she admits it. Admits he's in her nightmares.
That's a huge admission. Shows how deep he's burrowed. He's not just in her waking thoughts. He's infiltrated her subconscious.
But then she pushes back a bit. Says she's done pretending this is therapy.
A flicker of defiance, yeah. She confronts him about wanting to break her and admits she's scared of becoming like him.
There's still some self-awareness there then.
Yeah.
Recognizing the danger.
A little, maybe. But it's tragically ironic, given how far down the path she already is.
And his response is just brutal. I think you already have.
Oof.
Just cuts her legs out from under her.
Yeah.
Undermines any resistance she had left. Basically says, it's too late, you're already one of us.
What does she do after that? The text mentions medication and the mirror.
Right. She goes back, gets rid of all her medication, a total rejection of conventional help, and she scrubs the bathroom mirror frantically.
Trying to wipe his image away.
Seems like it, but it's futile. The narrative says she still feels him watching. He's internalized now. A phantom she can't just wash off.
Okay, chapter 6. Her behavior gets noticeably stranger. Yeah, the little details, twirling a burnt matchstick, a kind of nervous energy, a hint of destructiveness.
Dr. Mitchell notices, right? Tries to warn her about burnout. Long hours.
Genuine concern. But Harleen just brushes her off, dismissive. She's beyond caring about her job or her colleagues' opinions now.
And her visits to the Joker.
Yeah.
They're not even called interviews anymore, just visits.
The pretense is completely gone. All professional boundaries have dissolved.
He keeps commenting on her appearance, too. You're wearing your hair down now.
It's subtle, but it's constant reinforcement. He notices changes, approves of them implicitly, and molds her further. She starts changing for him, relying on his validation.
Then the incident with Lorch. The patient. Harleen snaps violently.
It's a major break. A huge departure from Dr. Quinzel. The staff are whispering. It shows his violence is starting to bleed into her own actions.
And her reaction afterwards. Showering, fully clothed.
So detached, almost robotic, like she's disconnected from what she just did, trying to wash away something. But she seems almost catatonic.
Pamela tries one last time. Another voicemail.
Yeah, a really desperate one, saying Harleen is unrecognizable, that he's infecting her. Heartbreaking stuff.
And Harleen's response.
Deletes it. Doesn't even listen fully, maybe. And immediately calls Arkham to schedule another session. In his cell. Cell 3A.
Wow. Actively choosing him over her last lifeline. Severing that final tie.
It's a chilling moment. Total commitment to this dark path. She's all in.
Chapter 7. This feels like the point of no return. She actively breaks rules to get alone with him. In his cell.
Calculated. Using her knowledge of the system against itself. Exploiting trust. No glass, no guards. It's incredibly reckless. She's completely obsessed.
And he has a gift for her. Fear toxin. From Scarecrow, Dr. Crane.
Yeah. This is it. The chemical accelerant. It shatters her remaining defenses, forces her through her worst traumas again.
Childhood stuff, college, guy's murder, all through the Joker's warped lens.
It's designed to break her completely, overwhelm her, make her totally reliant on his interpretation of her own life.
And his voice during the hallucination. You've always belonged to me. I revealed you.
He's rewriting her entire history, claiming ownership, saying her real self is the one he's revealed. It's the ultimate psychological takeover.
She wakes up on the floor. He's there. What does he say?
You died for a second there. Almost possessive. And then the declaration, there's no Harleen Quinzel. Not anymore.
The symbolic death. The birth of Harley.
It's the final nail. He pronounces her old self dead. He's annihilated her identity. She's a blank slate for him to write on now.
Then he makes his offer. Which isn't really an offer.
No. He says, I'm not asking. It's a command.
And her response, broken. What are you asking me to do?
She's shattered, ready to obey, and the chapter ends with her walking out of Arkham.
Wearing her lab coat and his smile.
The transformation is complete. Visibly complete. That smile says it all.
Chapter 8. The immediate aftermath. She's changed. There's this new, unsettling poise about her.
Yeah, it's chilling. The grief, the doubt, it's gone. Replaced by this destructive purpose. Dr. Mitchell feels it. She's uneasy around her.
And Harleen starts working from the inside, undermining Arkham.
She's not just broken anymore. She's an active participant. Tampering with logs, getting blueprints, manipulating Bill Grayson, Bob's brother, tragically.
Using her knowledge, her access, to help him. Dismantling the system she was part of.
It's insidious. She's weaponizing her understanding of Arkham's weaknesses. She's become the inside woman.
Pamela's final voicemail goes unanswered. That connection is truly severed now.
Completely. And her sessions with the Joker change too. They speak in code. He affirms her role. You're the inside of the lock and I'm the key.
There's another incident with a nurse.
Yeah, senior nurse confronts her. Harleen handles it brutally. Shows her loyalty is absolute now.
And the chapter ends with her looking in the mirror, choosing lipstick.
Red, the final touch. Embracing the Harley Quinn persona visually. It's deliberate, powerful symbolism.
Chapter 9. The Breakout. Chaos erupts at Arkham, orchestrated by them.
By Harley, really. She's running the show from the inside. The text describes her soot-streaked lab coat, smeared red lipstick. A vision of the chaos she's unleashed.
She feels a sense of purpose in it all.
A terrifying purpose? This destruction is her creation in a way. A physical manifestation of her internal state.
Then she confronts Commissioner Gordon.
A key moment. He tells her she's coming with him.
And her reply, "I'm not walking anywhere, Commissioner. I already left."
Tells you everything, doesn't it?
Right.
She's not just physically escaping Arkham, she's psychologically gone, left her old self behind completely.
But then, there's a flicker of the past. She hallucinates Guy.
Yeah, vision of Guy, pleading with her to come back, to come home. It's like the last remnant of her old life fighting back.
But the Joker's voice is there too, countering it.
Absolutely. Pulling her back to the madness. It's this final internal tug of war.
And her choice. It's devastating. She shoots the hallucination of Guy.
Heartbreaking, the final rejection of her past, of normalcy, of love. The illusion shatters.
She breaks down, and then she turns the gun on the Joker.
Yeah. In that moment of breakdown, maybe clarity, maybe just ultimate despair, she shoots him.
Is it revenge?
Mm-hmm.
An attempt to break free? Or just lashing out?
It's complex, maybe all of those. A desperate act born from realizing she's trapped. She destroyed her old life for this fantasy, but the fantasy itself is a nightmare.
Gordon finds her then. She collapses and says those final words.
I couldn't live in the dream, but now I can't live out here either.
Utterly tragic. Trapped between two worlds belonging to neither.
It sums up the whole tragedy. She pursued this mad love, destroyed herself for it, and found only emptiness and alienation.
Okay, then there's chapter 10, the epilogue.
Yeah.
It shifts focus quite dramatically.
Yeah, we meet Gary Koski, Guy's brother, and he's talking to Bane.
Bane. Okay, that widens the scope considerably.
It does. It hints that Harleen's personal tragedy might be, just one part of a much bigger, darker game being played in Gotham. Bane talks about Gotham wanting a bedtime story, not justice.
And then there's this prisoner extraction scene. Bane kills Gary.
Brutally. Reveals himself as the prisoner they were extracting, and talks about the fire rises and Gotham's reckoning.
So it suggests a larger conspiracy, a bigger threat looming.
Exactly. It reframes Harleen's story slightly, making it perhaps a symptom of a larger sickness in Gotham, manipulated by forces like Bane.
But the very final image brings us back to Harleen, deep beneath Arkham again.
Whispering the Joker's words, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
Chilling. Even after everything, even with him gone or captured, his words, his philosophy, it still lingers.
It shows how deep his influence went. That nihilistic viewpoint, it's become part of her. A permanent scar.
So wrapping up this deep dive into mad love, we've traced this horrifying spiral. Dr. Harleen Quinzel to Harley Quinn. Driven by trauma, yes, but actively sculpted by the Joker's manipulation.
Absolutely. We saw the isolation, the gaslighting, the exploitation of vulnerability, the complete rewriting of her identity. It's a masterclass in psychological destruction. And the epilogue adds that layer, suggesting this kind of manipulation might be playing out on a larger scale in Gotham.
It really underscores the devastating power of this kind of toxic relationship, this mad love.
It is, and it leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's our final thought for you today. Think about that seductive power of manipulation. How thin can that line between sanity and madness really be, especially when someone's reeling from trauma? What does a story like this, even fictional, tell us about the stories we believe, the narratives that shape us, and how we understand good, evil, and everything in between?
It's a dark reflection, for sure. Definitely something to chew on.